Representative Pam Altendorf, and I am here today with Ted Galati. He is the owner of the Hemp Farm that's just south of Zumbrota. Many of you have seen it. It's right off of Highway 52. And I have been very concerned about this marijuana bill that's been coming through the House. So Ted and I met last summer and during the campaign trail, and I wanted to reach out because Ted, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been on the farm?
Well, Pam, thanks for coming out this morning and visiting the farm. Yes, we are Hemp Maize, Minnesota, Willows Keep Farm. We're just south of Zumbrota, and we right now farm industrial hemp. We've been doing that since 2018. It kind of started on a whim. We were growing a corn maze and we decided, hey, let's do something different. So we went ahead and we registered with the Minnesota Department of Ag, got our license, and we started growing hemp as an agritourism attraction. It has grown since then, so now we have a hemp maze and we also have a cannabis golf course. So you can come out here and play 13 holes of golf on our cannabis golf course, which is playing through a cannabis field. So hemp is why we got into it. And yes, we're meeting here today because farmers, retailers, and processors of hemp, we really have some concerns with how the legislation is written right now in SF 73 and in HF 100.
Yeah, I myself, so I'm on the education committee, and in the House, I heard this marijuana bill coming through the education committee, and it's, you know, I should have brought it. It's a 300-page bill. It is huge, and there's so much legislation that's coming through the House very quickly, very fast, and that's been one of my concerns. I also heard this bill on the Senate side, and I heard many people testifying, you know, that they supported parts of the bill, that they supported using marijuana for medical purposes. However, many times over and over, I heard people testifying that this is going too fast, and that is my concern, and that's why you've been reaching out, I know, to a lot of legislators and trying to raise concerns about the speed of this going through the House and the Senate.
Yeah, I mean, we support more access to cannabis. The issue is, though, like Pam was saying, is we feel like they're trying to ramrod this through. And it's not just me. I mean, we've got a coalition now that's following this and that are really opposed to what's going on in the bill. It really feels like a pay-to-play system that they're building. And we're just really concerned with that. In HF 100, all along I've been testifying. I think I've been to 10 committee meetings and I've testified in front of these legislators. And my message is clearly get hemp or take hemp out of the bill. We don't need hemp in the bill. HF 100 has hemp listed 1,251 times, and SF 73 has it listed 909 times. Marijuana is only listed 73 times in the House bill. And although they're calling it an adult use cannabis bill, let's get honest, this is a legal recreational marijuana bill. That's what we're working on. We're working on bringing legal recreational marijuana. We already have hemp and we already have medical marijuana. So really what we're talking about is legal recreational marijuana. We are talking about cannabis, but we shouldn't call it an adult use cannabis bill. Cannabis sativa is the plant, okay? That's the plant that we grow as hemp growers. That's the plant you grow as a marijuana grower. Hemp is a classification. It's below 0.3% THC, and marijuana is above 0.3% THC. So the products that I sell, the products that I grow, the products that I process are industrial hemp. And in 151.72, which is the current Minnesota State statute, it says hemp is not a drug. So that's my big issue. Take hemp out of this bill.
And I know you said, Ted, I mean, most of your customers tell us how they're using this product when you're selling it to them.
Yeah, I mean, really, this is a health wellness product. I've been in front of the committee and I've said, hey, you know what? Our bodies are built for cannabis. It is. We have an endocannabinoid system, which means our body produces cannabinoids. So the body does produce cannabinoids. It produces it on a low level. But when you hear of people saying, oh, I've got the runner's high, or I'm in the zone, you hear that from Michael Jordan, athletes. They're pushing their body so high that they used to think it was endorphin and adrenaline that was charging them and getting them to that level. No, actually your body is pushing cannabinoids into the system. Now it's low-level cannabinoids, so it's not a drug at that point because your body's producing it, but it's low-level cannabinoids. Now let's think about it. Most of my clients, customers, they're older, they're not able to do that, or they're dealing with seizures or other complications or problems with their digestive system. And the neat thing about cannabis, and when we talk about CBD and even low THC, below 0.3% by dry weight, those products are what really help people heal. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a health and wellness, basically, product that comes from this plant, the industrial hemp plant, below 0.3% THC.
Yeah, so there's many concerns, and for me, especially seeing this in the education committee, we already know that this is going to affect children, affect students, because that's written into the bill. And that was one of my concerns. I think many of us all agree that there are uses for this, there's medical uses, and we all are agreeing on that. What we are disagreeing on is the speed and how this is coming through recklessly and how this is taking so many different issues and it's piling it all into one bill. I'm very concerned that the government could have such an overreach that someone like this that's been a farmer and is making a living, you've invested your time, you've invested your money, and the government could come through with this huge bill and basically, did you say take you out of business?
Yes.
And also, can you talk a little bit about didn't you just say that there's even legal ramifications if you continue to sell? Yeah,
so here's the thing. This bill kind of steps up to legal marijuana, right? So they're not even really looking at the legal aspect of it, the recreational side, until 2025. But things will move quickly. If this bill gets written into law, July 1st of 2023, the Office of Cannabis Management is created. And I assume there will be a temporary commissioner, but they're going to have a commissioner of the Office of Cannabis Management. They're going to fall under the Minnesota Department of Ag until they're up and running. Here's the problem, though. They need some money, right, to get this program started, and they're looking at, I think it was $6 million in the first fiscal year, the 2024, and what they're proposing with us is July 1st, 2023, we will have to register with the Office of Cannabis Management. We will also have to have all of our products approved. Well, let's think about this. If the Office of Cannabis Management does not exist, how on day one am I going to sell my products if they're not approved and if I'm not registered? Because they had to figure out the way to register all of us. So that's one problem. The other problem is by October 1st of 2023, all these products, and that's fine, but they all have to be tested and reported to the Minnesota Department of Health. Again, these are hard dates that are in there, and it's going to make it really hard that come July 1st, 2023, I'm going to be able to sell my products. And then we aren't talking about the possession. I sent Pam the fiscal note. I know she's probably read through it, but the fiscal note to HF 100 has in there July 1st, 2023, that there are limits on possession. So if I possess more than 16 grams, and it doesn't just say low dose THC derived from hemp, it also says any hemp derived consumer product. So the only thing that's really safe is topicals, so things you rub on yourself. If it's a gummy, if it's a tincture, and it's just high CBD, well, think about this. I have a store, I have inventory. Processors and farmers are gonna have more than 16 grams on hand. And if I have 16 grams on hand, and that's more than the possession, it's 5 years, it's a felony. And then if it goes up to 1 kilogram. So if I have a kilogram, and that could be even the oils that I'm putting into my product. So I could just have a jar of CBD oil, a kilogram, and if they came in and raided me, I could do 30 years with a felony for a product that I've been selling under 151.72. So that to me is very concerning, and that's what's in this bill. People need to read the bill. The legislators need to read the bill. Not just the Republicans, the Democrats. We all need to look at this bill. We need to bring the correct stakeholders to the table to discuss it, correct it, and then have it signed into law.
Yeah. Thanks, Ted. Thank you for your time, and thank you for listening. We are doing this video today because the media is not doing their job. They're not getting the story out to Minnesota, and we need the people of Minnesota to understand what's happening this legislative session. This is just one example of a huge bill recklessly moving through the Minnesota State Legislature, and we need to stop this. We need to slow down and make sure that we are doing things right instead of causing problems down the road that we are going to be, litigating over and over. So Ted, thank you so much for your time today. We want you, Minnesota, to reach out to your legislators and to really start raising some concerns, sounding the alarms and letting them know this is too fast, it's too reckless, we need to slow down, and we need to be doing this the right way. Thanks, Ted.
Thank you, Pam. I would just say take hemp out of the bill. That's the solution.
Thank you.
Thank you.